everybody, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney 2 live streams. I apologize for starting this stream late. Stuff happened. Anyway, in the last part, we went to trial to defend Sasaki again, and in this part, we're doing another round of investigation before going back into trial to defend Sasaki. And we're back at the legal consultancy, even though there's not a lot here. I could have sworn that there was more stuff here. Whew, we made it back in one piece. Just. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There's so many carriages on the streets of London. You were very nearly flattened several times. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe of you. Oh, thank you. And now that your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow. Yes, let's do that. Is everything alright? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it, that's all. That I'm here in England, working as a lawyer, I mean. In the Old Bailey, no less. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing in my shoes. It should be Kazuma. It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him. Yes, I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if you were here with us. Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. Alright. Today's trial. It was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand. I know. Not only that, but then finding out that he's actually a barefaced gas thief as well. Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while, it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about Sasaki-san poisoning the tea. Careful of your phrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. There's more to this Mr. Shamspear than we yet know, I'm sure of it. Mr. Shamspear certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first. What's become of him, actually? I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital ward after he was receiving... I'm sorry. I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital ward where he was receiving treatment. Oh, which one is that? Let me see. Ah, yes! He's at St. Bartholomew's, or Bard's, as Londoners call it. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was one sentence. We know that place, don't we? Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital to which she was taken. Ah, yes. After Sasaki-san stabbed her in the back. Do be careful of your phrasing, Naruhodo-san. He didn't stab anyone. I'm very sorry about that. I had a cough. Perhaps we both owe Sasaki-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's. I'm sorry, St. Bartholomew's. I keep mispronouncing it. St. Bartholomew's. Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. What's next? So, we know that Sasaki-san took tea to the victim on the night in question. But as he isn't the culprit, then obviously... Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea. But if that's the case, How on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shamspeare's body? Was there any poison in the tea at all? I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shamspeare's room that will help solve the mystery. Well, naturally, Scotland Yard detectives have been over the place already. But it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think. Definitely! And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left in the bar of soap. Well, if we run into Inspector Gregson, we could ask him about that. Kazuma's wishes. Kazuma Asuki, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before we left Japan. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that crazy idea he came up with. As a stowaway? Yes, you can fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. 1 second. Still getting over something. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through that trial that you really ought to go into law, be a defense lawyer. You got a natural talent for it. Believe me, I guarantee it. But I've never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you, obviously. You'll have to decide for yourself. But anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world, the city at the forefront of everything. It can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day... One day what? Oh, no. Never mind. Naruhodo-san? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about Kazuma. Yes, he's forever in my thoughts too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course. Yes, that's right, but... 1 second. I'm back! I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know. A thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all. Kazuma's true intentions. Naruhodo-san? What do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions? I mean this. His katana? I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma-sama passed away, of course. No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it. When I have it at my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage. Yes? Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Kuruma? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asuki clan. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Kuruma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do? Yes. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. What did he mean by something very important that I have to do? I had hoped that the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet, I've not found a single clue. I see. Well, we got that done, so let us head back to Mr. Shanspeare's room. Wait, wasn't that taken off the wall? Oh, hello again, Inspector Gregson. What are you doing here? Well, we're hoping to have another look around, actually. The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware. I'm not sure if that's true. Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yes, one other thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? With the tea in it? Yeah, we found it all right. There was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it. It's with the identification section at the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today. That's wonderful news. Thank you. Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Nothing. Forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything in here. Let's see here. I wonder why my D-pad sticks. Did you hear it like click like that? Like I had to give it like a little extra force to push it down, and there was that click. I wonder why it does that. Okay, so all this is already examined. That's good. The sun never shines in this room, thanks to that depressing bricked-up window. Why did I hit that? Yet, with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks to set some soap outside, can't you? That sounds like a very wise life lesson, Mr. Sato. Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naruhodo. If you ran out of change, you wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy, lender's winters can be very harsh. That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change. London's winters can be very harsh for the forgetful too, then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Susato-san and I are going to make it to spring. That's true, we don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove. Look how dark the stain on the floor is underneath the meter there. Yes, from all the water dripping out of the ice coins melted as you established in court this morning. It's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it? Mr. Shanspeare must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose. It was an ingenious idea, I'll give him that. Oh, what's this? Oh no, wait, we already examined that. That's the envelope thing. There goes again. Are you looking for new clues, Inspector? I love N6 yeah. Don't come back till you got something for me, he says. Just. Oh dear, for you. Yeah, for me, because we've already searched every bleeding nook and cranny in this place. I don't know what he expects, to be honest. Thank goodness for his warm chips. That's all I can say. Thank God for warm chips. I'm sorry. His warm chips is what I said. I don't know where I saw his warm chips in there. One second, I gotta take care of something. Oh, We got some here. Ah, the ill-fated teacups from which the two men drank on the ill-fated night. During their heated literary debate, yes. Who's stronger, Romeo or Juliet? It sounds like it was quite a discussion. Now I think of it, I'm sure that the two lovers in the play ended their lives with poison. Yeah, come to think of it, that's horribly ironic. That's fiction, Mr. Sato. Let's hope it stays that way. Have I examined everything here? I feel like I've examined everything here. But I also feel like I'm not supposed to leave quite yet. I can converse. I've examined everything in the room. I've talked to Gregson. So, out of the hospital next, I suppose. Where's the rat? Miss Green must either still be here or she just forgot her stuff. What do you suppose is happening? It sounds like some sort of disturbance. Yes, I hear angry voices. Oh, dear. Be not angry, oh ample lady. Verily, thou art mistaken. Mistaken my foot! You were looking at my painting! The eye of man hath not heard. The ear of man hath not seen. 'Twas foul indeed, the poison that mustached villain gaveth me. Forgive me, lady. I wish that you died from that poison. God of mercy, ample lady. Be thou ceased. I have vigor still. Behold my Shakespeare dance. This looks rather ominous, doesn't it? Ah, lo, 'tis a lawyer from the land whence riseth the sun. How now? What are you doing here, Mr. Shakespeare? Mary, I do believe I am returned into another ward. He was looking, that's what he was doing, looking at my terrible work. Eastern fellow, so darky clad. Faith, thy work in court this morning was wonderful. I do applaud thee. Oh, well, thank you. But that doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it? Anon. Excellent. I have no idea how to pronounce that one word. Mr. Shakespeare might technically be the victim in this case, but there's definitely a lot more to it than that. It's very hard to pin the man down. I'm sorry, I'm such an awful person. Ah, Miss Green, is everything alright? Oh, yes, I mean, don't worry about me. They're about to discharge me, so I must get ready to leave now. Oh, I see. We're delighted that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it. I think this girl needs some help. Let's see, let's examine again. Oh yeah. Yeah, we saw this already, so we're just gonna skip this. So, are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green? I am, thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me. Well, yes, it really was an ordeal, wasn't it? As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along in the snow one evening, minding my own business, and then completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again, excuse me, again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up already. What a terrible week it's been for you. no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I look back on this fondly. Really? Anyway, I must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to be discharged. Oh yes, of course. Sorry to take up your time when you're obviously busy. There's that clicking again. Why does it get stuck? I mean, well, not stuck because I can like still use it, but why does it do that? Okay, we're in the same... Wait! There are lots of bottles in that cabinet, aren't there? Do you think it's safe to keep them like that? I wonder if you were a patient here. I feel sure you take some medicine by mistake when you were half asleep. That is a worry, but at least the cabinet has a lock, even if it's only a flimsy-looking one. Oh, I've no doubt you managed to unlock that somehow while you were half asleep as well. There are limits to even what I can do when I'm half asleep, you know, Mr. Sato. Okay, that was funny, but there's a painting down here, but I can't examine it. Here we go. Ah, this looks like the treatment notes for whoever's occupying this bed. Let's see. Do not permit to run around the hospital. The patient doesn't seem to be here at the moment, so is this Shamspear's bed? He or she is probably running around the hospital then. Oh dear, how worrying. What's worrying is why they haven't discharged the patient yet. Wait, haven't discharged the patient? What does it say on there? What's the condition? Well, I can examine this now. There are all sorts of medicines in this cabinet. Look, I'm not sure if it's safe leaving them in reach of everyone like this. Yes, you're right. I can imagine if you were peckish, you might try a whole bottle or two. Well, at least there seems to be a little lock to secure the cabinet doors. I don't imagine that would stop you if you were hungry. I worry that you'd break the lock. Hunger doesn't turn me into a criminal, you know, Mr. Sato. Oh! That must be a bag of Miss Green's personal belongings. She would have been brought directly here after she was found stabbed on the pavement, though. I expect a friend or a family member probably brought some of her things. Some things for her, I'm sorry. Alright then, let's see what's inside. Why are we going through the lady's clothes? No, Mr. Naruhodo! You must never scrutinize a young maiden's personal belongings. Thank you, Susato. But the young maiden might have chocolate or biscuits or caramel. That is a poor reason, Ryunosuke. Very poor reason indeed. Okay, I feel like I'm missing something. That's weird. Okay. 22nd of February, Briar Road. What? No, we're not moving. You can see right there. There's a bar of soap. But I guess we already examined that. It gave us a timestamp for when we came here, so I assume something's changed. I am legit just scanning now. I don't get it. It gave us a date and time for everything on here, and yet nothing's changed. The prison? Well, there he is. 2nd of February. Local prison. Cell 9. Oh! Mr. Natsume is back! So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello. I'm a cat. Ah, dear. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Sherlock Holmes. I don't know about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape from reality. Trying to? He already has, completely. So, what is your name then? As yet, I have no name. Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality. Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? I am not a cat. It worked! He's back in the real world! What's going to become of me? No! Don't answer that! It's obvious! I'm a cursed soul! But my cursed soul is never going to escape as a cursed fate! Mr. Natsume, no! This morning's proceedings in court prove that there's hope. Yes, local student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but... The Reaper is only present in court, in my lodgings! Here, there, everywhere! What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh, yes, we must! This morning's trial. In my whole life, I have never, ever been so moved as I was today! No! Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps 1 or 2 other occasions that moved me more. But if I just blocked those out, then today, being in that courtroom was... It was the most moving experience of my life! Look at the student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Ah, damn. You're too kind. Scotland Yard found the remaining tea, just as we deduced, and are analyzing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea! They won't find a drop of poison in it! That's a solemn, sworn, Sasaki certainty! Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely! Remember, drink tea while it's hot! We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. And at the time, we were completely fine. As shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspear then engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings will be how the poison was taken by the victim then. Mr. Shamspear. That rotten Shamspear! What have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything! Anything at all! Right. But what I don't understand is why you didn't let me know sooner. Let you know what, Mr. Natsume? About the soap, of course! What else? Oh dear. Are you struggling with such meager stipend? Of course I am! If I had money! I wouldn't have chosen to live in a cursed existence in such a cursed lodgings! Oh yes, you said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly! Especially the room that I rent! The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts the place, and is trying to kill me! Capital offender? But I ask locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire that the next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps! And that's everything. can't examine anything. Alright, so now I'm gonna present him with everything. Everything that I think is relevant. I'm not gonna present him with one of the first 3 things, because I don't think they're relevant. Mr. Natsume, it's nothing much, but... Ha! It's been too long since I've offered a present with that delightful, humble etiquette of our homeland. What? You're too kind. I accept it gladly. Sorry, but I wasn't trying to give it to you, actually. Okay, so now we know what his I have nothing to say to that is. Okay. Mr. Natsume, what do you know about this? Ah! There it is! That lathery lowlife that took my neighbor's life and sent me sliding to the depths of despair! Slippery, sickly, psychotic, saboteur! You've really gone off soap, haven't you? Absolutely, and I've made up my mind. The next time someone gives me soap as a present, it's... friendship finished firmly forever! I don't know that we can blame soap for everything that's happened, Mr. Natsume. Nope, okay. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Actually, hold on. We have his medical report. How did I forget that? No, yeah, it doesn't say this either. You know what, actually, since we have such few things in the court record, I'm going to show them everything, because why not? Have I shown you this before, Mr. Natsume? Oh, yes! The sweet, sweet aroma of our beloved homeland! It shows that the wearer is a defense lawyer. It means nothing in Great Britain, of course, but I still wear it. Oh, I know exactly how you feel, local student Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire. My Haramaki belly band! I don't feel right without it! Your Haramaki belly band? It's perfect for the cold English winters. Just the thing to keep my tummy warm. Yes, I see the link. Almost. Mr. Natsume, about this receipt. It occurs to me now. And it was those confounded books that saw me arrested the first time, too. Oh yes, I suppose that's true. After I spent my precious pennies on them, that's the thanks I get. Now I don't know when I'll read them. No, not when. If I may very well hate them too. I'm sorry. I may very well hate them too much to even open their covers. I don't know that we can blame the books for everything that's happened, Mr. Natsume. And now this. No, he's got nothing to say. Okay, so we got everything from there. Mr. Garridee's room? 22nd February. Mr. and Miss Garridee's room. Mr. Garridee appears to be out. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. I assume there... Oh. I assume there's... I'm not gonna go through all this. It's probably just repeats of the stuff that we saw in the first game. So, back here then, I guess. I feel like I'm missing something here. Can I present anything? I cannot. 1 second. I'm back. Hold on, is my mic muted? No, it's not muted. Okay. Okay, I'll admit, the game has me stumped now. I don't know, there's something about that hook thing there that just tells me, no, it shouldn't be like that. I don't know, maybe if I could see the whole thing, maybe if I could look up and see the whole thing, it would make a lot more sense to me how it's just kind of there. The only place I haven't been is Shulman's Suite. "22nd of February, Shulman's Suite." Oh, Runo and Susie! Hooray, you're back! Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am, and you look immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you couldn't have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups. Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually, what is that foul smell? Aha! The Wanderer has returned at last! Where on earth have the pair of you been? We've been in court? Oh, for Mr. Mustache's case! That was today, was it? I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure you think you did! Well, we can laugh about it now. So tell me, how did the trial go? Reasonably well so far. You managed to escape without a guilty verdict, at least. Really? I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper. I'm sorry. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. Is Lord Van Zeeks an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruto. Not quite what I asked, but still. Mr. Sholmes, whatever is that odor? Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed! That's a sign of victory, my dear fellows! Victory in science! Oh dear. Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? Lord Van Zeeks. Lord Baron Von Zeeks, yes! It's an interesting sobriquet. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. He has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is found not guilty by the courts, sooner or later, the hapless soul will vanish from the capital. But vanish how exactly? By falling under a passing curtain or drowning in the Thames. Or succumbing to a sudden fever, or, quite out of the blue, being set upon by a highwayman. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow. It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fit, for the time being, at least. That's not overly reassuring. If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Van Zeek's own hand. As it happens, Miss Misato, that is quite impossible. Oh? Why? Naturally, the men very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper always had a cast-iron alibi. Really? And so his reign continued. But 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. That is, Until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into the trial at the Old Bailey. Whoa, that was weird. One second, gotta take care of something. Whoop. That bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection. Really did end bitterly indeed. And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again! Poor Runo, I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky or incredibly unlikable. I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people. Foul smell. So, what is that indescribably foul smell? Ah, well, most probably this, I would say. What is that? My dear fellows, it is, of course, my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea. Oh my! There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stalls along some of London's less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but it is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor. Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior. So, when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris! At the ready, Hurley. Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens? It turns black. It turned completely black. And what a foul odor it's giving off. Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes, and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is. It would appear that this cup was particularly fine Darjeeling. That's very ingenious. But what do you do with that black liquid now? Why, dispose of it, naturally. Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you? There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Solms. Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madame. Right. The point is, we are entering a new era of science. In the world of criminal investigation also. Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times. I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Herlock-Sholmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative technique is based. This little tea in a can was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research. Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. Japanese people. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending, being Japanese as well as Mr. Sato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Zeke seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese. Indeed. It is an interesting observation. Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes? It was about 10 years ago that Barak von Zieks chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan. No! What the? Tell us more, Mr. Sholmes. What happened? I believe I made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair. Oh, but... The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe. Forensic science. So, your T-test, is that an example of forensic science?
Indeed it is! An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality.
Not a huge number of cases, then.
Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints? Not yet accepted in our course as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels there.
I hadn't even heard of them until recently.
Which is partly why I undertake research in this field myself, of course.
Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes?
There are others in that field already, and I abhor the company of inferior minds.
Oh. I'm very sorry. Very, very sorry.
No, what I am researching is skin prints.
Skin prints?
A nomenclature of my own design is as this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched whenever a person is under investigation.
Objects touched by whichever person is under investigation.
How?
How does it know specifically the person who's under investigation? As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black.
I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed.
Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any clues.
That's the spirit, Runo.
See you later.
Yes, until later.
No, Mr. Sholmes, we were thinking you'd come with us.
You were?
Yes, of course! You said so just a moment ago! You said we'd witness your forensic talents in action!
Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later, in all likelihood. Probably, maybe. Well, I might.
Your commitment astounds me.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We'll eagerly await your arrival.
Bye-bye, Runo! Bye, Susie! Okay, so now something should happen here.
Oh, and there we go!
Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there?
What a question indeed! Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene? Oi! What are you doing here? Sholmes? What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Why'd you open the court record? Dear me! What's a great detective? One is always under scrutiny, it seems.
Now is the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talent in action as you promised?
With the greatest of pleasure, my dear madame!
He puts on the mask. The mask is his goggles. Oh, I love that. I love that so much that the mask is his goggles. What's all this?
All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruhodo. Herlock Sholmes' sensational skin print seeker gun. Moments ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim.
A sample? From Mr. Shamsphere's cup?
Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this, a refined indicator solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles.
This is his room! He's touched everything! I'd be more concerned if there weren't a lot of things in this room that he didn't touch.
Here, try them on. There, now spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed.
Spray? How do I do that?
A little press of A on the area you're interested in. Oh. You're interested in is all that's required, like this.
What is that stuff? It's like fog. A suspension of the chemical indicator in a pressurized gas. It's the most efficient way to cover a large area. That's another invention I discovered incidentally whilst I was developing this idea. As you do.
Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night in question.
Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. Okay, so how do I examine it once I, well, I can't leave, so... What was on this box, then? So he touched both cups. Okay, now... Okay, what is up with... Is it my controller or is it the game? Look, there are dozens of handprints here.
So there are a great many indeed. So much so that it's hard to make out any one individual print. In fact,
It sent a chill down my spine.
perhaps he was leaning up against the wall while he admired this picture.
Unlikely, I would say. I'm sorry, I got the voice wrong.
Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene, after all.
And without wishing to state the obvious, who wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel? Oh, very true, Mrs. Sato. It's a bit of a mystery, then. 1 second. Or 1 minute, rather. Alright, I'm back. Oh, look at all this here.
Ah, yes, interesting. A multitude of the victim's handprints.
Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot?
Oh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here?
There's nothing obvious that that he would have tripped over. Though, is there?
I wonder. Personally, I often stumble when there's nothing obvious to trip over.
I think that's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes.
Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor.
Yes, there's no obvious explanation. Well, we sprayed Mr. Sholmes' skin print indicator all over this room, didn't we? We did, but there are 2 places in particular that are of interest, I would say. Oh yeah, that is a loose floorboard. I'm not sure if... I don't think I noticed that first, actually. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I'm just gonna say I didn't notice that. The handprints on the floor there, and on the wall by the picture, you mean? Oh, I thought that was, Sato talking. Yes, and I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment. Ah! What is it, Mr. Sato? Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has popped out. One of the... You mean... It's a secret hiding place?
Excellent work, Mr. Sato. So, what do we have in here? Oi! What are you lot doing?
Inspector Gregson.
Stand aside, right this minute. It's my job to investigate that. No No need, Inspector. Continue to dig into your portion of chips whilst we dig around under the floor here. You fancy talks putting me off my food anyway, Sholmes. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need.
Wow, a secret hiding place under the floor. What a find! It's not a hiding place you could make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw, tatami mat. No, I know, but I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. It's got me wondering about the wall over there too. Aren't you curious? Oh! I'll investigate at once! There's nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall. What about on the other side of the painting?
How disappointing.
But then, how do you explain the handprints? I really can't think of any why anyone would have been touching the wall over and over in one place like that.
Click. There you are, a print for you.
The photograph of the handprints on the wall has been entered into the court record. Oh, thank you very much. His invention can make prints too? Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything under the floor there.
I'm desperate to know!
So am I! You found anything, Gregson? I'd love to know if there's anything hidden underneath that floorboard there.
Allow me to ask Gregson now. After all, we're well acquainted. Inspector Gregson! Really, it's been too long!
Where is it, Chums?
I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there. Seeing as we're such good friends. We're not friends.
No, I suppose not. I think that hurt his feelings.
A dismissal, a dismal failure.
Yes, I heard. I'd kill to know what was under that floorboard.
Alright then, that's fair.
What? You did discover the hiding place after all. I suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you!
Do it quickly, my dear fellow. If there's one thing I know about this man, it's that he blows with the wind, as fickle as the weather. Alright, stop making me out to be some kind of nut. Number 3 items under the floor there. A newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know?
I kind of want to know about the tin box.
Now this tin box looks interesting, doesn't it? Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If we were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be in the least surprised. Yeah, funnily enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty. What? Jumpspear! Give us a clue, man!
You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruhodo. But anyway, at least you found out what's inside the box. Yes, thin air. It's empty. Rather like how I feel inside. Is there nothing more to this box then? I wonder. It wasn't entered into the court record. Photographic print.
So, this is a photograph I found. Looks reasonably recent to me.
I've seen that somewhere. That person knows Miss Green somehow.
Yes, it would appear to have been taken on the street in front of the house here. And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garradine, the landlord, of course.
But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garradine's son, perhaps?
Perhaps. You can take the print if you like.
Really? Are you sure?
We can presume, therefore, that the yacht already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is.
Ah! Is that true?
Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out, pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work. All the more reason I'm not telling you. A dismal failure.
Yes, I heard. You got the photograph. I wonder, why a photograph like this was hidden under the floorboards?
Is the painter, Shakespeare?
Can I take a closer look at it? Can I look at it as a 3D object? I mean, well, this may as well, just whatever. Can I look at this as a 3D? I cannot look at this as a 3D object. I mean, Mr. Shakespeare himself isn't in it.
Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garrity was rather delighted to have been immortalized. He probably made a proud president of it.
Newspaper clipping.
Looks like this was cut out of the paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester.
How terrible.
It made the headlines down here in London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first.
Oh my goodness! He committed a capital offense?
Man by the name of Selden. Nasty piece of work into burglaries and murder. They say the hoard he knocked off was worth about £1,000.
A hoard? Of treasure, you mean?
Jewelry and the like, but he'd hidden it somewhere and no one knows where. And now he's dead. The papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell, or some such was the headline. Does it not strike you, though? Why such an article would be so carefully enclosed under the floor? I suppose now that you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork we've got on Selden back at the yard and see if I can turn anything up.
The capital offender article has been entered into the court record.
Meow.
Oh look! It's that lovely little kitty cat! What was its name? It's Mr. Natsume's, isn't it? I don't think we ever asked him, actually. Why don't we call it, Wagahai? I'm sorry, Wagahai? You know, like Mr. Natsume refers to himself in Japanese? I wonder how he got it in here. Clever cat. Oh, wonderful! Well then, Wagahai. Here's something delicious I brought for you from the Cat's Meat Man. That cat came up from behind the stage. He couldn't be happier now. Look, did you just feed him raw meat? Animals eat raw meat all the time, but I figure I can't help but feel I was going to give him the runs. I can't examine the painting. I can examine the cat, though. That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai. Oh, but he's so adorable! I could sit and watch him forever. I think he may not appreciate that after a while. And we have an investigation to get back to. He came up from behind the stage. I feel like I would have gotten some kind of hint to go somewhere else at this point.
Oh wait! Duh! They did give me a hint.
Or so I thought. Well, actually, I didn't read this yet. Newspaper article about Selden, a criminal sentenced to receive death penalty. However, he died of illness in prison whilst his loot remained undiscovered. Manchester's Strangeways Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October, altered by the shouts of his fellow cellmate. Oh wait, no. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. No other pages here. Well, it is a newspaper clipping, so... I wish I could present this picture to her. Let me, check this, actually. Look! I'm sorry. Look, there's a photograph in this frame here. Yep, it's the same guy. Oh yes, it's a picture of a young gentleman. He looks to be about the same age as Miss Green, I would say. Perhaps the young woman's special someone, do you think? My, Mr. Naruhodo, I didn't know you had a sense for the matters of the heart. Not in the least. I sincerely said the first thing I thought of. And we should be able to examine that again and be like, wait a minute, this is the same guy in the picture! Okay, so we can examine this. Ah, this looks like the patient's treatment notes. Let's see. Do not feed. Okay, that's just mean! What's this place, a zoo? No, I seem to remember seeing an almost identical sign at our local park. For the pigeons, yes. This is a person. Poor woman. I hope she hasn't read this. That's just fucking mean. I wish I could present her this picture we got and been like, you know who this person is. Can you tell us who it is? Oh my god, 1 second. Okay. Okay, so I guess back to Shamspeare's room until something prompts me to leave. Something a little more obvious. I can't look at the painting. Well, I've examined everything here. Now, according to this, I've examined everything here. Back to the prison, maybe? Maybe, Oh, wait, I'm an idiot. You know what, I'll present him the new evidence I got anyway. What's this? It's a newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. Ah, so he knew, did he? Sorry? About this man, Selden.
a convicted killer, and the evil spirit behind the curse that afflicts my lodgings! What? He's already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another! A miserable maligned Japanese man! Mr. Natsume, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit. So did Selden, was Selden the last guy to stay in Natsume's room? The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now. And at the time, he was hiding out in lodgings at Mr. Garrity's house. What? He lived where you do now? That's right. Yes, exactly where I live now, in my very room. Oh my! Your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offense? But before a sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. The curse! What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume? It's already caused one death a few months after the criminal passed away in prison. A man died in the room. The man who rented it after Selden, in fact. The poor lodger, he was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside. Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's the convict's curse, is it? Yes, well, that was the start of it. The convict's curse. Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsume? The official cause of death was asphyxia. You suffocated? When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas. Gas? I only found that after I'd signed the lease. When Mr. Garrity came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself trembling. In fact, if I'd known beforehand, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room. Landlord's lease! Luckily legal! Lucky for Mr. Garrity, maybe, but not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. 1 second. I'm back. Hold on, I gotta check again, see if my mic is... Okay, yeah, my mic is good. And now you believe this curse is affecting you? It is! At first! I just felt as though I was being watched all the time! And then you talked about having nightmares, didn't you? The dead are trying to take me with them! They come for me and try to suffocate me! Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up! And the room is as cold as ice! But why is your room so cold? London winters are too cold to bear without any heating on overnight. But for some reason, even though I lit the stove before I climb into bed, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas. But that's terrible. That's exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. And then there's what happened to Mr. Shakespeare last night when he was mysteriously poisoned. There's clearly more to that incident than can be explained by a curse, though. Whatever can be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garrity's rooms? Let's go talk to Mr. Garrity. We got a lot to talk to him about, like the gas problem. We have the problem. We have the thing about the picture he's in with the painter guy. 22nd February, Mr. and Mrs. Garrity's room. There you are. Ah, you're here now, Mr. Garrity. Right, Bailey business it is for me, you know? Getting out and about. Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance? Naturally, fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance and all that. Not a trial to miss. The fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes. Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings or some such.
Ah, well, at least he knows.
Makes you wonder what the blazes is going on, don't you know?
Yes, I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsume's other trial just 2 days ago. You were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened.
Stopped off at the prison on the way home, in fact. Beastly business.
I see.
So, what brings you to my haunted abode today, eh?
Converse. Your lodgings.
Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse.
The convict's curse, you mean?
Ah, heard the stories, have you? Rotten scoundrel was arrested here, then the next chap in the room goes and keels over. And then there was that woman who dropped dead just outside on the street, not to mention the actor yesterday. Am I next, sir?
Well, can't help but get the collie wobbles, can you?
Collie wobbles.
When you say the woman who dropped dead outside on the street, do you mean Miss Green? Because Miss Green, who was stabbed by the knife, and Mr. Shamsphere was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still.
Yes, well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems. Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, a fascinating history. Why, it sounds like the lap of luxury!
I'm not so sure about that.
Well, there's no bath or toilet included, and no fireplace either.
But you do look out for your tenants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here?
Yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things, in case there are any mishaps or such like. I think you've had your mishap already, sir!
That's not helpful, Mr. Sholmes.
Heaven forgive me, the words just came to my lips.
Your lodgers. Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh?
There's no need for that, Mr. Garrity.
That's right! Mr. Natsume is in no way fishy!
He is undeniably peculiar, however.
Is that... Sorry. Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away?
Yes, that's right. I asked the estate agent to find someone and he popped up the very same day. Never come across a chap so keen for a place, with a background, as it were.
I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on so much as the cheap rent, actually. So, how long has Mr. Shamsphere been lodging under your roof?
A failed actor chap? Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been 3 months now. Quite sure of it.
Only 3 months? He's quite new here then, too. Wait a minute. Didn't this guy die, like, 3 months ago? Or at least that's when the...
And to what do we owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Garrity, might I ask?
Well, it wasn't Selden scoundrel as it happens. Selden? The convict, you mean? Did Selden and Shamsphere have some kind of connection then? Shamsphere tenancy.
The convict chap, Selden, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now, you see? Some malady or other.
Excuse me. Yes, we've seen the report from the newspaper at the time.
Well, it was only 3 days later that the tragedy in showed his face. The actor fellow. Really? Yes, I remember quite distinctly. 'Tis small, this world we inhabit. Prithee thee, landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shakespeare, do desire to take thy room on the middle floor, offered a while for rent. Terribly sorry and whatnot, but that won't be possible. Already have a lodger on the middle floor. Ground floor room's vacant, though. Nothing can be made out of nothing. Let me repeat mine will unto thee. Those curls must be muffling your ears. The room on the middle floor's taken. It's ground floor or nothing. Very well. We have an accord. Glad to hear it. Welcome to Briar Road. Lower Shakespeare dance to celebrate. So that would explain why he would go after Soseki. But it doesn't explain why it happened so... I mean, why it happened so late. Why wait 3 months for this? In fact, he already said he was moving out. Just fucking wait a few more days. And he was 3 months in... in arrears with the rent, too. Yes, the fellow was a bally player, alright. Thank you for your candor, Mr. Garrity. We are most grateful. By way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe and put on my crown. I have immortal longings in me. What's happened to you? Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of his most famous lines. I wish to divulge my own learnings of the subject. For I have a turn for literature, you know. Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines then. Now let's present him with this picture. Mr. Garrity, could I ask you to look at this photograph? Is that your son who's with you there? No, not at all. He was a lodger here once. Oh, was he the guy who fucking, who got asphyxiated? The guy who was in the room before Soseki? Duncan Rose was his name. Duncan Rose. A street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot, just for kicks, really. Was he by any chance the lodger before Mr. Natsume? Yes, that's right. Ah, the young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances. Just what Mr. Mustache was waiting for, one might say. Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs before the Japanese shop. Would you mind telling us a little more about him? The lodger's death. Yes, Duncan Rose, young chap was attending art school. Had to work to pay for it, mind. Moved into the middle floor room about a year ago, after that criminal Selden was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them. A history of cheap rent, maybe, yes. Yes, well anyway, it was one morning about a month ago now. Hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas lamps to see what my lodgers are up to at the time. So sadly, I was rather tardy to discover what had happened. Smell of gas that alerted me it was. Ah yes, synonymous with the smell of death. Called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off its hinges. But once we got inside, we all badly collapsed. Because of the gas? Yes, the room was full of it. No air at all. Stone must have gone out while the poor chap was sleeping in his bed. So Mr. Rhodes suffocated to death? Of course, the police gave me a sound ticking off because the gas pipes were so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it sent me back to have the lot replaced all over the house. But even after you had all that work done, Mr. Natsume says the same thing. That the stove goes off at night while he's asleep in bed. Well, that's the Bally curse, the convict's curse. I've done my duty as a landlord now.
Someone's feeling defensive. Did he really fix it, though?
Ah, that reminds me, actually.
Yes?
About young Duncan, the night before the poor chap perished, he'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady.
Was it, Miss Green? A love letter, you mean?
Yes. Where did I put it now? Ah, here it is. Left it on my desk. If you'll excuse me. Let me see now. What does it say? To my most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
Do you think that we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence?
My dear Susanoo, this is precisely why I preface my reading with, if you'll excuse me.
I will not excuse you, Mr. Sholmes. No!
Sadly, he didn't address it, though. So I have no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really.
I see. That's going to play on my mind. But really, the identity of Mr. Rose's sweetheart has no bearing on the case. I think we should leave well alone. Yes, I suppose you're right.
Indeed, the intended recipient's address is missing. However, there's a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
Mr. Sholmes, please! I've already had to chastise you about this once.
My undying love to you, my colorful darling, Olive Green.
Ah! Olive Green? The woman who was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside this house 5 days ago? The victim of the last case Saki-san was in court for, who regained consciousness only yesterday? Is it just chance that her name hasn't come up now? Could it possibly be mere coincidence? Mr. Naruhodo, whatever can this mean?
Reading personal correspondence can have its merits, you see, Mr. Sato.
Well, that's our prompt to head back to Miss Green's hospital bed. Because we have a direct link now. 22nd of February, St. Bartholomew's Hospital Recovery Ward. Mr. Naruhodo, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last. This is good news, but hopefully, just before she leaves... Ah! What is it? Miss Green! Oh, dear. Yeah, this girl needs some help. What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. One moment, I'll be with you in a jiffy. Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here? The doctor has said I can be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together. Miss Green, what were you just doing? Oh, nothing, really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed for me, that's all. Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you, if that's alright. I don't really have anything else to tell you. Alright, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can't coax something out of her.
What happened to the fucking letter?
Okay. Hospital discharge. It's wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green. Oh yes, I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering and wasting space. Not people like me, anyway. So I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. I probably shouldn't stand around and chat. She certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk, that's for sure. Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Rose. You knew him, didn't you? The fact that it's purple is disturbing. Because based on what I know about
Japanese culture, purple is, not a good color. Oh no, I'm sorry. The bottle of medicine fell down when she did. Oh, Miss Green, are you alright? You know what? I just realized I'm calling him Duncan Rhodes when his name is Duncan Ross. I'm very sorry I'm mispronouncing it. Let me just take care of this real fast. There we go. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that. No, it's alright. I just wasn't expecting it. But how do you know about Duncan? Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan, a year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day. And the two of you became romantically involved? Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually. That's why he decided to move into a cheaper room to save money for the wedding. And that's what led him to Mr. Garradids? Yes, he told me he'd found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, that's when it happened. We're so terribly sorry, Miss Green. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green. She looks so desperately sad. I was starting to think that's just her look. But now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her. I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon. Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, we'll be on our way. Mr. Naruhodo! Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was afraid of! Surely you were not about to leave. That's quite out of the question. What, Mr. Sholmes? I didn't realize you were here. But of course I was, my dear fellow. Watching intently from the shadows as always. Well, make your presence known next time. Mr. Sholmes, what's this about? Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Shadow, is this. Why do detectives insist on such an ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? That is what sets a great detective apart. What do you mean? There's a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruhodo. So let us avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from ever happening with nothing but careful observation. Alright? All the clues you need are set before you. You need only look and cannot fail to see. You can do it, Mr. Naruhodo. I know you can. That mouse seems to be dead. Look, I didn't notice it before, did you? I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out of the bottle. But that's the bottle that Miss Green was about to drink from when we arrived. You don't think... Ah, I see you come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. That of a tragedy about to take place. Yes, I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before has spilled out on the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. Huh! I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Don't worry. I will attend to the mouse presently. Miss Green, were you intending to go to the same way as that rodent? To take your own life? Ah! Once we'd left, you would have put it to your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the poison. No! Miss Green, please! Please talk to us! 1 second, I'm gonna look something up and put in the chat real fast. Alright. If you ever need help, call the number that I just put in the chat. Seriously, they will help you. If you're feeling down like that, call the number I just put in the chat. I may actually wind up putting it in the description too. Seconds later, and we would have arrived at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green. Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted. Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine? Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so I snuck this out when he wasn't looking. It conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains. I'm afraid I don't really know. But I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow. Oh, please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things. That is right. This is very... Don't fucking do... I shouldn't be laughing. Don't commit suicide. Please do not. If you're watching this, do not commit suicide. There are better ways to handle things. That poor little mouse is proof of that. I feel like I shouldn't be doing voices. I feel at this point doing voices is inappropriate. Oh no. Oh, it's all my fault. What have I done? I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection? No, none. There's nothing more we can talk to her about. Is there something... Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this. It definitely feels as though this card must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere. Yes, it may very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Sholmes believes was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it. The card. Neither the sender's name or address appear to be written on the envelope or the card. It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in the hospital here. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Wait a minute. The 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briar Road. And 5 p.m. is precisely the time when the incident occurred. The Slug and Salad, yes. A pub on the northern corner of Briar Road. Briar Road being the street that Mr. Garrity's house is on. Does this mean that... Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day when I was struck in the back by the knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad. Goodness. So that's what you were doing on Briar Road that day. I'm sorry I didn't say anything before.
I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything. Yes, I'm very sorry to have had to drag up such painful memories for you. No, it's fine. Miss Green, please, promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend has the bottle now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back, and I had a close shave with a bottle of poison, and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. It might sound a little conceited, but well, that's how all this has made me feel. Leaving Miss Green in St. Bartholomew's behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes.
Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigative trail today.
Yes, it's late.
And, Mr. Naruhodo? Did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think?
Details about Mr. Shamsphere, Mr. Garredeep's lodgings, the convict Selden? There are many facets to this case, and we're yet to see to the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling, anyway. I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis. And Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean? Yes. Will they have found stress in it or not?
Well, I fear that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend Mr. Reaper.
Oh dear. Yes, Barrick von Zeeks.
But I wish you every success, of course, and though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend the trial. Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come? Indeed. Whatever happens, I shall be there. Assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning.
Sorry. Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's case until the very end. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. So Saki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here, and so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn, for all of us. To be continued. Alright, that is it for today's stream. Once again, if you need help, you can call that number I put in chat and in the description once this becomes a VOD. And they will talk to you. There is a better way. But in regards to future streams, I will be playing Greatest Attorney again next week, Tuesday at 7 p.m., assuming everything goes well with what I do before these streams. But in between now and then, on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be playing Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition, where we will be doing the last DLC mission before the end of the game, alright? I will see you guys then, and again, I'll say this again, if you need help, call that number.